So we're on the final step of the detail for this car for a customer, and they requested that we clean and detail the door jambs. Now there's a lot of dirt and grime in here, but there's also a few scuffs and scratches that they want us to do our best to take care of. So to clean door jambs, you have a few options. While you're cleaning the rest of the car, you can either use water, you can use a waterless wash like EcoSmart, or you can use a detail spray or an all-purpose cleaner. It just depends on how messed up or how dirty the area is. So to get started, I'm going to try to first start with a detail spray. I'm going to use some Hybrid V7, and I'm just going to spray down this jamb a little bit. Take a microfiber towel and see what kind of cleaning results I get. And it's making a difference. There's still some heavier stuff. I have some heavier grime that's just not coming out. So at this point, I'm thinking the detail spray just doesn't have enough power to cut through this nasty dirt. So I'm going to try some Nonsense. Nonsense is an all-purpose cleaner, has no extra odor and no extra color, so safe to use in all types of interior spaces, and it won't leave any noxious smell that might make your head hurt, and it won't stain any fabrics or leather pieces. So I'm going to spray this down in the door jamb. This is already diluted 15:1 because we like to use this bottle inside and outside the vehicle. So I can come all the way down here to the bottom of the door jamb. You can see that I'm pulling off all this dirt and grime. Now, Nonsense is safe to use even on paintwork, so it is slick enough where it won't cause any extra swirls or scratches as you use it. So it's perfect for things like door jambs or lower body panels if you're cleaning around wheels or tires. You have a little extra grime that you want to take off, it's safe to use Nonsense on all those. It's also great for removing bugs from things like front grille of your car, around door mirrors, things like that. So now that I have this jamb nice and cleaned up, I can assess what's going on here. I'm going to flip around so you can see what I can see over here. Looking down here, there's all kinds of this yellow paint. It looks like something got scuffed in here, as if they were moving some kind of heavy object and they scraped the whole door sill down here. Now things like this might not come out even with machine polishing. Things like that are damaged pretty deep. I can feel it with my fingernails, so it's definitely through the paintwork. But the customer just asked if we can try to make it look better. We don't want to spend a lot of time on it. The customer doesn't want to really pay for a lot of this work, so we're just going to try to go by hand with the all-in-one V4 polish and sealant. Now things like this combines a polish which will remove defects with sealant, so we don't need to add any extra protection like sealant or wax on the surface when we're done. I'm just going to take a blue microfiber applicator, spread it on over the surface. I'm just going to try to work it in. So my hope is I might remove some of these scratches and scuffs, and as you can see, a lot of these things are actually starting to come off. So I'm starting lower here where the damage isn't as bad, and I'm going to move up. A lot of this yellowing is. There we go. It's making a big difference actually. The customer's going to be really happy with this because they weren't expecting to get all these nasty scuffs out so easy. And look at that. Now we have a pure white paint once again on this door sill. It's looking really good. And you see that that took hardly any time at all. Now I'll take a clean towel and buff that dry. There we go. Now we have a cleaned up part. We removed a lot of the paint that rubbed on. We even removed some of the scratches, some of the swirls around the area, and now it's actually deep white, shiny again, and protected. We don't need to add any extra sealant or wax or even detail spray. It's already done. I'm going to check out some other areas around the car. I know that the trunk jambs and the hood jambs tend to get really dirty too. So let's see what we can do for those areas. So now I'm at the back of the car and I'm looking here in the jambs all around the trunk, and there's very, very dirty. And there's many different materials here that I need to clean. I need to clean the paintwork. I need to clean this rubber weather stripping that goes all around. And I need to clean this gas strut that holds up the rear door. If you look close, you can see there's all kinds of oil leaking out. I think the strut is on its last legs, but we can clean all this grease off to make the customer feel a little bit better about the car. So I'm going to spray down the Nonsense on this jamb and wipe up all this nasty dirt. The rear end of cars actually gets dirty the fastest, and it gets very heavy dirt and dust. That's just the way cars are designed, and the aerodynamics makes dirt and dust stick to the rear end of cars, especially hatchbacks where they have a very big surface area. So you see with just a couple wipes, the nonsense pulled off all the nastiness from the paintwork back here. We didn't put any swirls in, no scratches. It just looks clean and new. I'm gonna clean off this rubber weather stripping now. Nonsense, like we say, is an all-purpose cleaner. You can use it for all purposes. I'm just gonna spray it here on the rubber and wipe it down. So now the rubber weather stripping is clean. It looks new again, and I didn't add any extra white chalky look. Like if you see back here, somebody must have used a low quality all-purpose cleaner or like a window cleaner or something back in the day, and it's looking really worse for the wear. Maybe I'm gonna try to wipe this area down. Maybe it'll make it look nice and fresh again. Yeah, see that? It looks brand new. We took away all that nasty chalky white look on this rubber. I think I could even get over here in the middle of the window. I'm gonna pull all the dirt and grime off the weather stripping here. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm making the rubber clean and deep black again. And I'm actually removing this nasty chalky white look from the rubber. So I'm undoing someone else's mistake from another time, another poor level detail job. Let me see, what else is back here? So looking up here on this gas strut, there's heavy grease kind of all over the place here. It's looking a lot worse for the wear. I'm just gonna try to clean off this piece. So if and when the owner decides to change out the strut, he won't get his hands so dirty. There we go. Now that joint looks good as new from the outside. Let's try the rest of the gas strut. Let's see, I'm gonna flip to a clean side on this towel. And if you have jobs that are in kind of weird areas, or if you don't want to get overspray all over the rest of the car, simply mist the towel rather than the piece you're cleaning. Take the towel, wipe off the joint, wipe down the piston. Yeah, that's looking a lot better. So nonsense is safe to use in and outside the car on all types of different surfaces. If you're in doubt, you can test it on a small inconspicuous spot, but we've used nonsense so much in the shop, we're comfortable spraying just about anywhere on any part of any vehicle. We've never had any issues with it. So the rear tailgate is looking a lot better. I'm gonna finish off kind of around here in between the seams, rest of the jambs. Then I want to move up to the hood because I know that the customer wanted the engine bay to look a lot fresher. See you in a second. So for the final touches, I'm going to get in the engine bay here. Customer wanted me to take off a lot of this dirt and grime all over the hood, the windshield cowl, around the wiper blade, and even in some parts on the engine bay like the valve cover, intake box, and around the battery. There's some corrosion starting to pop up. So if we can take it off now, we'll save ourselves the trouble of having to service the battery later on. So you see it's possible to detail an engine bay even without using running water or a lot of water. I just need a few products and I can easily clean off all this grease and grime and oil. So let's say I want to come down here on the windshield cowl. Nonsense is safe to use on all this plastic and even on the glass. If I get it on the glass, that's okay. I'll just wipe down the window. Nonsense isn't going to hurt anything. It's not going to etch the glass. I have all kinds of like leaves and stuff in here. Come around here, around the cowl, around the wiper blade, on this grill. So nonsense works great to pull off all this contamination and dirt. It's even safe to use on this paintwork here. This matte finish paintwork on the wiper blade. Can come around behind it, come around these lines. Can even clean off this kind of matte paintwork here, or the powder coat on the windshield wiper arm. No problem. You can see I'm not causing any streaks or any extra shininess or anything on this part. It's just nice and clean. No extra shine, because we don't want that part to shine. So I'm gonna come in here and clean this stripping on top of the engine, no problem. You can even do things like the valve cover or the battery. I'm gonna clean around the terminals just to make sure we're not getting any extra corrosion building up Wipe down the valve cover. It's nice and clean. On the oil filler cap, oftentimes when they service the engine, you get a lot of oil spilling around here. Take that off so it doesn't leak all over the place, fall on the exhaust manifold, smoke. You don't want anything like that happening. Come on the battery, swipe it down. I'm pulling off the beginnings of any corrosion and all this dirt around the terminals. That way we don't need to service the battery later on. So Nonsense really is an all-purpose cleaner. You can use it all over the place. Now the jams all around here, they're not too bad at all. There's obviously nothing going in or out of this part of the car, so there's no extra scrapes, no extra scratches. I can get away with just a quick cleanup. The customer's going to be very happy. So if you have any questions about Nonsense, the all-purpose invisible cleaner, check it out on our website. Check out the links right below to learn about all the products used in the video today. And hit the subscribe button to keep in the loop with all the latest detailing tips, tricks, and products. You got a nice car, so let's keep it clean with Chemical Guys.